Welcome to Psychominds. Here psychology is made simple, clear, and based on science. Attention is one of the central psychological functions for the operation of consciousness. Without attention, conscious experience becomes fragmented, superficial, or chaotic. From the perspective of scientific psychology, attention can be defined as the ability to select, organize, and maintain focus on certain internal or external stimuli while filtering out others. The environment constantly presents an enormous amount of sensory information. Attention acts as a filter, allowing only part of these stimuli to reach conscious processing. This mechanism is essential for adaptation to the environment, learning, decision-making, and goal-directed behavior. Attention is not a single process but a set of mechanisms involving vigilance, focus, sustained concentration, and the ability to shift attention when necessary. These processes are dynamic and vary according to emotional state, level of consciousness, motivation, and neurobiological conditions. In clinical practice, attentional impairments frequently accompany alterations of consciousness, anxiety disorders, depression, psychotic disorders, and neurocognitive conditions. Therefore, understanding attention is indispensable for properly assessing mental status and overall psychological functioning. Psychology identifies different types of attention, each serving a specific function. Voluntary attention is consciously directed by the individual, such as when studying, reading, or solving a problem. Involuntary attention occurs when intense or unexpected stimuli automatically capture focus. Sustained attention allows individuals to maintain concentration over long periods and is essential for complex tasks such as academic study, clinical listening, or continuous intellectual work. Alternating attention enables shifting focus between different tasks or stimuli. Selective attention filters out irrelevant information, while divided attention allows engagement in more than one task at a time, although with clear limitations. The idea of efficient multitasking is largely a myth, as attentional capacity is inherently limited. These mechanisms depend on specific brain networks, particularly involving the prefrontal cortex, parietal regions, and reticular activating systems. Disruptions in these networks can significantly impair cognitive performance and conscious experience. The relationship between attention and consciousness is deeply interconnected. Not every sensory stimulus becomes consciously perceived. For information to reach full conscious awareness, some degree of directed attention is usually required. Thus, attention serves as a gateway to consciousness. When attention is impaired, perception of reality becomes distorted or fragmented. This can occur in extreme fatigue, sleep deprivation, intoxication, severe anxiety, or serious mental disorders. A person may be awake yet struggle to integrate stimuli coherently. In conditions such as delirium, there is marked impairment in attention accompanied by fluctuating consciousness. In anxiety disorders, attention may become excessively focused on perceived threats, distorting conscious experience. Understanding how attention shapes consciousness helps explain why different individuals perceive the same situation differently and why certain psychological conditions profoundly alter subjective reality. Assessing attention is a core component of the mental status examination. It involves clinical observation, structured interviews, and specific cognitive tests. Clinicians observe whether the patient can maintain focus, understand questions, and respond coherently. Simple tasks, such as repeating number sequences, performing mental calculations, or identifying stimuli under distraction, provide valuable insights into sustained and selective attention. Deficits in these tasks may indicate cognitive impairment or altered mental states. In psychiatry, attentional deficits are common in depression, schizophrenia, ADHD, delirium, and neurocognitive disorders. In neurology, brain injuries, dementia, and traumatic lesions also directly affect attentional systems. Careful evaluation of attention prevents misinterpretations, such as confusing cognitive deficits with lack of motivation or cooperation. Therefore, attention must always be assessed alongside consciousness, memory, and thought processes. In psychopathology, attention plays a central role because it influences nearly all other psychological functions. Attentional disturbances can intensify emotional symptoms, distort thinking, and impair adaptive behavior. In depression, attention tends to fixate on negative content. In anxiety disorders, it becomes hyper-focused on threats. In schizophrenia, difficulty filtering irrelevant stimuli may create perceptual overload. Beyond clinical settings, attention is fundamental in everyday life. It supports learning, professional performance, relationships, and self-control. In an era of constant digital distraction, understanding attention has become even more critical. Studying attention is therefore not merely about cognition. It is about understanding one of the pillars of consciousness and human psychological functioning. Here on PsychoMinds, we explain psychology with clarity and scientific responsibility. Subscribe and be part of a community focused on learning and understanding the mind.